Welcome to Real Estate Radio San Antonio. We're just back, and if you're joining us, we're sitting here with Robert Tawan of the
SanAntonioHomeFinders.com. That's okay, Stan.
I have the hardest time with that. I want to say our own.
I want everybody on the show listening right now say SanAntonioHomeFinders.com 5 times. SanAntonioHomeFinders.com. Anyways,
good plug, Robert.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
But hey, we were continuing. We were talking earlier about investment properties, and there's people without homes here in San Antonio. That are renting, that like where they rent. I know of people personally that have sold their homes, have never purchased a home because they like living in a community that's in the city,
right.
Around the Pearl area,
right.
Maybe out Stone Oak Way,
right.
Down City, Southtown,
right.
So they've just got they're just paying that rent monthly,
right.
and they're not appreciating anything. And that rent, what might be $800 this month, will be, or next year will be $900, and then $1,000, $1,100,
right.
$1,200. It keeps going up because I can remember my first apartment in Southern California that I rented was $125 a month. Now.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me. And my first house was at $19,500, and I think the payments were about $300 or $400. And of course, like we were talking earlier during the break, there's not a whole lot you can buy for $300 or $400 now.
There's nothing that I know of.
Maybe a weekend away on a hotel room if you get a cheap bargain.
Well, if you put $100,000 down, you might be able to get something.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, how about someone that lives in an apartment, lives in downtown Southtown,
right?
Loves the lifestyle,
right?
And wants to stay in that condo or that apartment that they're living in because they love that lifestyle. What about that person investing in property with a depreciation value?
I think that's just a phenomenal reason to buy a property. First off, you have no tax incentive to rent a property. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an accountant or an attorney. Go see Ed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, I always plug Ed. I really like him, and he does a great job. But when you have an apartment and people tell me, well, I have no maintenance, it's easy. Normally, right now, I can get people into a house easier than getting into a rental. Mm-hmm. That's step one. Step two is then you seek an accountant, but they'll normally tell you there's some great tax advantages to owning a property. And as an investment, I think on your first home, I hate to use the word investment because really you're just trading money from a rental to your home. And yes, historically, if you talk to your parents or what they paid for a piece of real estate and what it's worth today, it's gone up phenomenal. So it's a great opportunity, I guess, like you say, as an investment. But the key thing is, you're just trading pockets of which one you're going to pay. And when it comes out to make you money, wow, that's just the easiest investment that you could ever make because it's not extra money out of your pocket.
Yeah, well, I guess moving back to also what I'm thinking about that person that lives in that rental property in Southtown is that they don't want to move. They want to continue to live there.
Right. Now,
what about that person that's looking for a piece of property to investment? They don't want to move into the home, but they want that investment to move up. But yet they want to keep their lifestyle in an apartment. And you really don't hear much talking. It's always like, let's sell and let's move into that house that's maybe out in the suburbs. But they're not doing that because they really love their lifestyle downtown. How about that person buying that piece of property and renting that back and acquiring on your program of, mine was one every 5 years, yours was one every year.
Yes.
A little more aggressive than mine, and maybe that's why you have two ranches, and I'm looking for a vacation house here.
Roland's at 2 a year now.
Yeah. So,
but I have and 99% of my clients are my friends now. Mm-hmm. I have a client friend who bought a property down in that area, and he did some remodeling and whatnot, and actually he has a place of his own now, and he has a rental place right next door. And the value from what he did, he made a lot of money in 2 years. I mean, a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there are opportunities out there.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Just because you love your lifestyle and maybe in an apartment in some of these communities, think about investing in real estate. You're going to get probably a better return on a lot of other things that you might do.
You can feel it, touch it, and use it. Whereas I'm not going to knock stocks and bonds; they've been good, but you have no control over that other than the buy sell. And here you can see it. You see whether the area is really growing, gives you good satisfaction. Or if it's not working out, we can always trade that and go buy something else.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. My advice, if that's something you think you want to invest in, you want to own some property, you don't want to give up your current lifestyle, get with Robert, get with ourselves, at Premier Fidelity Mortgage. We can certainly show you what it takes, what the down payment would be for a piece of investment property. It's not that bad, what most people can think. There's a lot of things available, different price ranges.
A lot of times it's trading money. If you have a good accountant, it'll show you how much it can save you.
Right.
Have you ever played Monopoly?
I love Monopoly.
How many people play Monopoly?
Yeah.
And you know what? This is just Monopoly, and it's for real.
Yeah,
you get real money instead of play money.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be great to sit back in 5 or 10 years and have 4 or 5 investments to have $1 million portfolio? I mean, this is what real estate's all about. It's about leveraging yourself so that you do have the leverage in your income, that you've created yourself wealth, that you've got you can retire with dignity.
Right.
These are things to look at now, whether you be 18 years old and you're 20 and you're out of college and you're looking for that first piece of property, or you're 50 or 60,
right?
And you just want to put something away. There's still time. I mean, if property's going up 20% a year, or 10% or 7% or whatever the rate is,
we got
on your
6,000 families a month moving to San Antonio.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
That's fueling the market on top.
Yeah.
So you got great opportunities. Great.
Yeah. And that property is going fast. As we see what goes on is good property sells very, very quick.
Yes.
So
people tell me, I'll give you a quick example. I had a person, he looked at a house. I says, let's write a contract on it. He goes, let me go have lunch first. I says, let's write a contract and then go have lunch. And he came back, and that house was sold. Mm-hmm. He did buy a house from me. It cost him $5,000 more. That lunch cost him $5,000. Yeah. And actually, in that same neighborhood, there is another house sold. That's happened twice in my life, 3 times, 3 houses in one day.
Wow.
That is a wow thing. And it
is.
But let's get involved and see what happens.
Yeah, and, it costs nothing to talk with Robert. We encourage you to get with him on his website. What's that website, Robert?
SanAntonioHomeFinders.com.
That's right.
Thank you, San.
Yep.
One thing I do want to bring up.
Okay.
If you do own a house and you want to know what the value is, I have on the website there what your house is worth. And you know what? If you type in your address, I'd say within 5 to 6 seconds, you'll have a really good idea what your house is worth. Now, if you want to refine that, please drop me an email and say I want to refine to see if it, because I do have a complex system there, but we really need to see and look at your house and do some manual stuff there. But for 5 seconds to get a value of your home, that is phenomenal. And it's current information.
Well, if you just joined us, you're listening to Real Estate Radio San Antonio on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, and we're here with Robert Tuan. And let's just continue with that, Robert. I mean, the investments that come forth on that are phenomenal. I mean, all the friends I know, like you said, that have made money, almost all of them made money in real estate.
That's correct.
Few have created companies and made their wealth through companies, but even those have got usually wealth in real estate.
I'm not going to mention names, but there's some industries that everybody knows, and they make more on real estate than they do in their main business. It's just unbelievable. Well,
I worked for years ago. I worked for a company in Southern California. I was with them about 14 years, and they sold out in the 80s during all of that corporate raiding and acquisitions, and it was said that the reason that they were purchased and dismantled was because of their real estate, because the real estate was written on a, if I get this right, a LIFO system.
Okay.
And a FIFO system.
Okay.
So
last in, first out.
Last in, first out. On that situation of the retails, but the company that bought them dismantled them for their real estate because they had buildings still written down at their original price.
Right.
And so they purchased it. Those $200,000 lots were now worth $6 million.
I know a few other companies just like that. So
that did that for tax reasons, but kind of came around and bit them. But the whole thing is that they had such wealth in real estate from doing this.
And the average consumer doesn't know this, I don't believe. Nobody teaches us in high school, college, but the fact of it is contact Stan over at Premier Fidelity or Karla. She's prettier than Stan.
A little bit.
And or SanAntonioHomefinders.com, and we'd be glad to give you a direction.
So kind of wrapping it up, let's just do a quick a wrap up here. And we're talking about buying investment properties and how about to go about that. The first thing is you want to find out, is this for you? You need to talk to a professional. You can talk to Robert. He has a wealth of people that he works with. We also work with the same people. You can contact us, Real Estate Radio, SA.com. Drop us a line there, and we can get with you and answer some of those questions. But do not think that owning real estate and investment real estate especially is out of your reach.
That's correct.
So many people that we have come into our office make the statement that I didn't know it was this easy, or I didn't know I really qualified for these. I just thought because I was working every day that it wasn't something that I would be able to own.
So true.
And it costs nothing, like I said, to find out this information. So, Robert, I want to thank you for being on the show today, for bringing your wealth of knowledge, a plethora of information to us here, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Stan.
And for everyone, please be with us on Sunday at 3 p.m. on 9:30 The Answer. That's 9:30 a.m. The Answer at 3 o'clock for Real Estate Radio with Karla and Stan. Thank you so much.